This is what happens. This is what happens when you're trying to do 5 things at once. I forgot to hit the go live button.
And we were having a great discussion. Sorry you weren't here for it.
Oh, fuck. God damn it. Oh, sorry. I'm an idiot. You know what it was? It was all the technical difficulties I was having leading up to this. You know, I was scrambling. And all right, DC FanDome. Did you check it out, Pete?
I looked through a little bit of it. There was a lot of repeats from the last FanDome, and you know, considering that there was a bloodbath, I didn't think that there'd be a lot of comics on there. You know, like some of my favorite comics have been given the axe. Batman Beyond has been sliced off.
Yeah, you know, A for effort. I didn't find much to do today. It's a build your own adventure day.
Okay.
You know, the first one, you were shoved into this Hall of Heroes, which totally baffled me last time. Like, I was looking for this. Like, oh, I want to steer. And I couldn't steer because they funneled you straight in to watch all these panels about movies and TV shows and all the whatnot. But now today, you come there and you can just pick a room or, you know, jump back and forth, blah, 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 blah. So, you know, kids versus for little kids, and they can interact. And there's like learn how to draw seminars in some of these. And it was cool. I mean,
nice.
Unfortunately, though, a lot of the stuff is repeated from last time. If you go in Hall of Heroes, it's everything from 2 weeks ago. So I hung out.
That's too bad. Yeah, that's basically what I ran into.
I hung out in Watchverse for a while. I watched the Three Jokers panel. Three Jokers panel was awesome. Have you picked up the book?
I haven't picked it up, but I recently heard about it, and it sounds really cool.
Yeah, recently, like before I started the stream button.
Yeah, basically, yeah. You told me all about it right before you hit stream.
Yeah,
it sounds really cool. I think I might actually start picking it up.
Well, for the people watching, we will have to revisit now. The idea is,
hey Keith, I haven't heard about it. What's Three Jokers about?
Well, Pete, let me tell you. Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok have teamed up to do what I feel is an old school DC comic. It feels like a 15-year-old book. You know, none of this checkbox diversity stuff. And anyway, it's about this idea that in the Joker's career, if you will, he's had a couple high watermarks, like beating Jason Todd to death, you know, with a crowbar, and classic, and shooting Barbara Gordon and paralyzing her. Another classic. So Jeff Johns came up with this idea that, by the way, this is not multiverse. This is not some parallel, you know, storytelling. This takes place in actual current canon. He got the idea that, like, what if it was more than one Joker the whole time? Like, it wasn't just one guy.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and Jason Fabok, who's a big fan of, you know, Batman comics through the years, and Jim Lee and Jim Aparo and all those artists, kind of tailored the art style that way. So when you see the Joker that shot Barbara Gordon, he's drawn like Brian Boland's version from Killing Joke.
Nice.
Yeah, when you see the one who beat Jason Todd, it's got that Neil Adams, Jim Aparo kind of feel to it. So
the really long chin to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So the Three Jokers look a little bit different from each other, which is very, very, very cool. And it's funny because, you know, the idea is that Batman's the world's greatest detective and never figured that out. Never figured that out.
Huh.
You know, that there was slight differences in each one. So yeah, it's cool.
Sounds pretty good.
I love the book so far. Red Hood steals the show in the first one, but it sold 300,000 copies. It's in second printing now.
Wow. Second printing.
Second printing. Now,
wow.
keep in mind, this is a $7 book. It's on DC Black Label, and it had 9 variant covers to it, and it sold that much.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, you know, and now it's in a second printing with another cover. So the 10 covers.
The 10 covers at $7 a pop. Now, is it just one issue, or is it 3 issues? Okay,
3 issue series.
So you're paying $21 for this series.
Yeah,
and it's in second printing already. Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool. And the second issue is coming out in about 2 weeks, and I can't wait. Next, I watched the Joker War thing.
Okay,
with James Tynion. How do you say his name? Tynion. James Tynion.
James, sure.
The fourth, and Jorge Jimenez, the artist for the current run of Batman. Very cool. I like it. The Joker War, and then they brought in people from the other Bat family books.
Nice.
To talk about how they're tying the whole thing into the whole Joker War thing. It was very cool. So, yeah, I mean, it was fun, some fun stuff. There's nothing earth-shattering that I saw. I mean, maybe there was an announcement or two that I missed, but there's a lot of stuff to watch, though. All this content that wasn't released 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
If anything, and I was, scouring Twitter, and it looked like to me that they probably should have done this the week after, not 2 weeks after. A lot of people forgot that this was even happening.
Yeah, I was a bit confused that there was even that A, there was a second one, and B, wait, didn't this already happen, or did they forget to pull the ads?
Right. So, I give them an A for effort. They had to lay off half their staff a few weeks ago, and the comics are just taking a pounding lately since the goof, and I don't know. It's nice to see that they're trying something to engage the fans and keep people interested, and yeah. I mean, again, nothing earth-shattering today that I see, but
certainly a better effort than Comic-Con.
A much better effort than Comic-Con, which was, as you know, we did all those live streams, and it was like,
oh god, it was awful.
We spent the whole time looking at toys. Like, the toys were the big announcements. Oh, look at these new toys. So I'm just looking at top tweets for today for FanDome, and I don't see any major announcements. There's a lot of the CW stuff again, like extended panels from last time.
So Young Justice has a season 4 or
right,
which unfortunately I never got into the show, so it means nothing to me.
Right, and Titans, and the whole Arrowverse and all that stuff. So, but I think today was designed more to be interactive and more about comic books and art, things like that. So, works for me, more or less. But speaking of, why don't we? You weren't here last night.
No, I was off working at the Witch's Dungeon, now in Plainville, Connecticut, the oldest continually operating Halloween attraction in North America. 54 consecutive years this year.
Damn, you've got that down. Do that again.
I was working at the Witch's Dungeon, the country's oldest consecutively operating Halloween attraction. 54. I botched it.
We've got a lot of these. Like Lake Compounce is the oldest running theme park in America.
That's right.
And you got that. The Witch's Dungeon has been around, 54 years now?
54 years this year.
54 years this year. That's awesome. So,
yeah, it's a good place. But yeah, so I was there last night. I was there last night, and you had some good discussions, and I came in at a real happy time.
Well, since we're talking about these virtual cons, the FanDome and San Diego Comic-Con, let's talk about this, Pete. I really wish you were here for this, so let's do it now. Star Trek Day. Let me blow this up.
Oh, Star Trek Day.
So, have you seen William Shatner's tweets? I have,
with the promotional poster that had Kirk conspicuously missing.
Right. So, it all started here on September 3rd when they announced this thing, right? So it says your favorite captains and crew members. I can't highlight it because I did screen caps and put them all together.
Gotcha.
And he replies with, "Where are JJ's movies? Blush. Do they get celebrated on a different day in the Kelvin timeline?"
Oh.
So he's throwing shade from minute one, right? So then this guy, Brian Conahan, replies, "Sorry to see you aren't on the list," because, of course, they didn't ask William Shatner, the face of fucking Star Trek, to participate in Star Trek Day. So, sorry to see you aren't on the list for the series that kicked us all off. You are the chief cornerstone that holds it all together. And Shatner says, "Well, they have George Takei and Will Wheaton booked to celebrate today. That should cover everything."
Ouch! Oh, that's awful.
Whoops. So then this guy here just asked, how do you feel about lower decks? And he says, you mean a basement? We don't have any basements in LA.
Nice.
Then we get to the poster, which I should have grabbed the actual poster to add to this, but you've seen it. You know, he had the smallest face on the poster. He was basically right in here, behind Mikey Spock and behind regular Spock. And even fake Captain Pike's head was bigger, right? So he
well, you know, they are pitching Brave New World, which will never see the light of day.
Exactly. So he blows it up. Oh, look, there I am. You know, I roll. And then he comes back with, may I make a really small change to this, Alex Kurtzman, and takes himself off the poster. You know, I got to give him some, he's got some good Photoshop skills because he blended this background pretty nicely. He probably did it quickly, too.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, isn't that the real one on the right? And I would have been mistaken. Right,
because his face is gone, but he took his face off because he was not invited to Star Trek Day. So then, yeah, so he removed himself from the poster. And someone here says, such an insult to Captain Kirk and William Shatner. And William Shatner says, not an insult at all. They are apparently showing that they are woke. And I'd imagine using image sizes as a measure of wokeness. Personally, I'd rather be sleeping.
Damn, shat, man.
Well, you know, look at the biggest faces on here. It's old Picard from the fake Picard show. It's the shitty Discovery and Mikey Spock. You know, and you know, they put Avery Brooks on the poster and didn't invite him either, unless he turned it down, which he probably had. But
yeah, he's off doing his own thing now. I think isn't he a professor or something like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's, you know, a jazz musician and whatnot. So I think he's kind of, that's over and done with. Much like a lot of them say, but then he'll come back.
Yeah,
when he realizes, gee, if I show up at the convention, I get a quick, easy paycheck. So then,
what's wrong with a quickie?
On Star Trek Day, he mocks the poster, you know, because the size of his head was so small, and puts the tiny little cake in his chair. It's Star Trek's birthday today. And again with the magnifying glass. This guy, if you're on Twitter at all, even if you're not, just get a dummy account just to read William Shatner. It's awesome because the bottom one has nothing to do with Star Trek Day, but I clipped it, and I clipped it for you, Pete, because this is the kind of shit he answers on there.
Okay.
So Junji Ito's Geo asked, what was it like to work with Rod Serling on Twilight Zone? Was he a fan of Star Trek? You do realize that Twilight Zone ran from 1959 through 1964, which was 2 years before Star Trek premiered.
Nice.
I love Bill Shatner.
Be interesting to I know that. Oh God. Now Mark Hamill's like that too. He'll join in. He gets pretty snarky. Mark Hamill's in the same way.
Mark Hamill's another great read. Let me find the Star Trek Day poster. Star Trek Day poster. So you
join the chat live, all 16 people. Come on in.
Yeah, why not?
Say something. Say something. You've shared this thing twice. Come on in. Join the chat.
It's my fault for freaking forgetting to start the live button. There we go.
Join the chat. Oh my God.
So you see his head was so much smaller. Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah. And he's got the smallest image on there, and he's the face of Star Trek.
That's awful.
Yeah. So, way to go, CBS. So, as part of analyzing Star Trek Day, let me get the URLs up here. Bip and bip. I had to do this because, you know, you have to compare apples to apples, as they say, right? Right? Mm-hmm. We don't want to compare apples to stones or What other fruit you like to eat?
Apples to Buicks.
Apples to Buicks. Yeah, any of that stuff. So you got to go to their CBS All Access, right? 212,000 subscribers, okay? Well, let's look at some of the numbers on this. Keep that in mind, 212,000.
212,000 people.
Right, 1,000 subscribers, right? So look at the views from Star Trek Day. This is now, what, today's the 12th? So it's 4 days ago. They still have it as 3. I guess that's when the stuff went up late at night. Next Generation panel, 30,000. Okay.
Okay, that's respectable.
6.8 thousand, 5,000. Patrick Stewart and Jonathan Frakes, 6,000.
Ouch.
Jack Quaid, 2,000. He's the voice of the new cartoon. 20 Newsom, she just hit 1,000. Last night she was under 1,000.
Oh.
Lower Decks, 13,000. Lower Decks, mid-season.
These are
look at this one. This
not
poor guy,
good, man.
Anthony Montgomery from Enterprise, 430. Talking about Enterprise, that's awful.
Ouch.
Part of it is these are like short clips. Like the full panel has 41,000, but Robert Duncan McNeil and Garrett Wong, 1.1. Voyager had quite a bit. Voyager, 61,000. I think that's the highest one.
But still, with that many subscribers, and it's being Star Trek Day, you'd think that it would be
Star Trek. Just being Star Trek, it's a huge IP. It's it's 54-year-old pop culture phenomenon, and this should be in the hunt. Every single one of these should have over 100,000, 200,000. I mean, look at this. George Takei. Here we go. George Takei on the Alphabet Community, 1.1 thousand. George Takei on Activism, 895. That tells you right there. People are tired of this crap, right? So, Strange New World, 16,000. This one's really sad. Original series, 10,000.
Ouch.
Yeah. Yeah. Deep Space Nine, 62,000. Oh, Deep Space Nine topped Voyager. But, okay, that's 4 days, right? So then we go over here to Doomcock.
Future ruler of the Earth.
Right. Now, Doomcock, right here, made a video about Star Trek Day's failings, right?
Yeah.
In the day after. So in one less day, 72,000. So he's beating the Star Trek Day stuff by himself, and he's got 6,000 less viewers. Yeah. Yeah. So
that's
and he doesn't have
Alex Kurtzman should be ashamed.
Doomcock does not have CBS behind him. He does not have Paramount behind him. He does not have Star Trek as an IP, and he's beating them in ratings on YouTube. So,
who's the new woman in charge of Star Trek or of CBS? Hey,
Edson,
what's up, guys?
What's happening? We're just ripping on Star Trek Day.
Again?
Yeah, well, we were talking about the FanDome, and it led to these virtual cons. So.
Oh, okay.
Emma Watts, yeah, Emma Watts.
Emma Watts should take Alex Kurtzman by the ear, like, come here, Francine. Take him by the ear and show him those numbers, and then look him right in the eye and say, "Why do you work for us again? Where justify the large amount of money that we give you every year for Star Trek if you can't even pull in." You can't even pull in 12,000 people for a video.
Well, that's just it. I think the idea is that by putting Discovery out on regular CBS this fall, by having this Star Trek Day thing, which they put together very last minute, you know what I mean? I think she's just trying to get the proof in the math. She's trying to have physical evidence that this isn't working so she can make the changes she wants to make. That's my theory.
I certainly hope so.
Wrong.
Star Trek is in a sorry state.
Well, sadly, if it goes much longer like this, it'll be broken forever.
Yeah, that's pretty smart of her if you think that's the way she's going to show just how little interest there is and then make her move. That's basically it tells me she's trying to somehow save it before, like you said, it just goes completely away.
Yeah, I think. I mean, she said that day one on the job, the same day that Lower Decks was being premiered, that Star Trek needed to be revitalized at the core. At the core. So what does that tell you? Keep in mind, this is the woman who got Deadpool made. So she had the foresight to let Ryan Reynolds do what he wanted and trusted him as a fan to represent the fandom. And look what happened. So I think this is a woman with actual foresight, very rare in the big corporate structure of things, right? So I have a good feeling about her. I think if anybody's going to save Star Trek, it might be her.
Let's hope.
Yeah. So Edson, what's going on, man?
Do you like the fandom videos?
I watched a couple. What did you watch the Three Jokers one?
Yeah, that was yeah. I mean, after reading the book, it was just more. It's just great. I mean, I don't. This is the type of story and comics that we need right now to really boost up this industry, this media.
Amen to that.
There is no better experience that you can get. I think the combination of story and images when you have such a great characterization, great story, and then on top of that, that art and the colors just explode out of there, and it's like that combination. I don't know of any better experience.
I agree with you, and it was just for me. It was nice to hear it from Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok that this is a throwback. Like they're honoring the history of DC. They get it. It's not anything that's how can we put it? Checking boxes.
I know you're
checking boxes, right? It's just a good old fashioned Batman story that Red Hood steals.
Yeah, and yet it's also very original too. I haven't seen this Joker story before.
No, I love it. You know, and I'll be honest, when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, stupid cash grab, Three Jokers, right?
Yeah.
And Dan at BoobTube explained what it was, and I was still kind of like, well, I don't know. But then when it came out, I looked, you know, I picked it up, and because it was Jeff Johns, basically. So I'm glad I did, because Jeff Johns is awesome.
It's great.
Yeah. I might even pick up the second printing because they made a new cover here for it.
There's got a shock puppet on
it. They're already on this. That's the second printing cover?
Yeah. They're making another variant. Three Jokers gets a second print and then a 1.25 variant. I
know they had they came out with what was it, 7 or 8 variants?
There were 9 other covers. 9. So this is the 10th cover. I guess there are 11 because one will be black and white.
Which one did you get?
Unless this was actually, I don't know.
Did you get the A or the B with the Batman? Which one did you get?
I got the one because I'm a huge Red Hood fan.
Oh, okay.
So I got the one with the crowbar.
Okay. I think that's the original one, right? The first.
Unfortunately, I think that's the main cover, which won't be
right.
Crap. Yeah.
Well, I love how isn't there like an indentation? The cover, there's like an indentation of the is it the crowbar itself, or
it's got it's got the raised. Yeah,
it's great. That's such a great feel.
Yeah, I mean there were so many. I'm trying to find all 9 here. I see there's 15. Is that the
plan? Oh, jeez.
Wow.
1 to 3, 15 cover set. There we go. Yeah, so I saw the Batman one, and I love Jason Fabok's Batman art, by the way.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get the Batman cover, but I'm like, nah, it's about the Joker. It's not about Batman. Even though it's a Batman comic, I figured I needed the Joker on the cover.
Yeah, but it's not solely Batman. You have Batgirl, and you have Red Hood, and it almost looked like the two of them were more in the foreground and Batman was more in the background.
That's what I think. Red Hood stole issue 1, especially with that very last line. The very last line was
that's so classic Red Hood.
I don't want to give it away, Pete. If you pick up,
No, I know. No,
Pick up a copy.
I'll pick up a copy of it.
Yeah,
it's
it's
classic.
Head on over to Boom Tube Comics in Southington, Connecticut. Pick up a copy if it's still there.
I'm sure it is. If not, he'll be able to order the second printing, which I want to get with the Shark Puppet because it's not here. So that must be a new one for the second printing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, and if he's got any left, I'll pick up another one of the covers. I mean, there's so many good ones. I mean, there's the one with the dynamite. You know, when I got there and I said, Dan, did you get the 3 Jokers yet? And he said, yeah, it came out today. They're over there. And he had all of them out. And
when was that? That
was the day it came out, which was that like the September 2nd or something like that?
Right. And then a week later, last Wednesday, I was there and he still had copies of every cover still.
Oh, he does?
Yes. Because I got another one there.
All right.
I couldn't help it.
So it looks like the A is the Crowbar, the B is Batman.
Yep.
The C is his original Red Hood. The D, what is that? Some kind of piranha or something?
Jeez.
It's a laughing fish.
It's a
clownfish.
A clownfish. Did he turn into the Joker?
No, I think there was a story that they adapted for the cartoon called The Laughing Fish, where basically he tried to trademark this fish and got into trouble doing it. Gotcha. I'll look it up. Okay.
And then he's got the dynamite from the Jason Todd incident. So you have 2 covers based on that one incident. Then this one with the fingers looks a lot like Jack Nicholson, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yep.
From the Batman movie. It really does.
Yep.
Especially with the jacket on, and then you got the Batgirl, which Killing Joke, of course, that was great. Even this one with the behind bars, that one also looks like Jack Nicholson. A little bit. So maybe it's the eyes or something. So that's 8, and then the 9th one is the one with the monocle. So those are the original. That's the first 9.
Jeez.
So issue 2 is now see that one right there too with the putting the flesh tone makeup on harkens back to the 89 Batman a little bit. Looking through the finger telescope or whatever. I will have to get the Jason Todd cover because I love Jason Todd. Then you got the Killing Joke. See that's what I mean, Pete. See how he looks here.
Yep.
He looks like Brian Boland's Joker, and then you go up here, and he looks completely different here, as he does over here. See that? Definite difference.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Now, what's this with the tomato? That's when he's a regular comedian, right?
Yeah.
Like his origin when he sucked. You're right.
Right. Hence the tomato.
Which also could be a little nod to the Joker movie.
Oh, right. Okay.
And then this one here, where this looks like something out of the Greg Capullo, Scott Snyder run. A little bit. It's got like, the shaved head on the sides, completely maniacal eyes. And they should have done one where he was, the stitched up face.
Oh, yeah.
Stapled his face back on.
Yep. Yeah.
So, but all in all, just, and we were saying before you hopped on it, and that it's such a great thing for comics right now, which has been just the worst, that this sold 300,000 copies and is forced into a second printing. Like, did Jeff Johns buy some time for DC single-handedly?
I had this whole speech rehearsed in my head as I was going to come on, and I totally forgot that I was going to say the same thing. It's such a great thing, but I wasn't even thinking of how many copies it sold. I was just thinking it's such a great thing that he's getting this particular story out just to buy it sometime, have something of quality out just to keep it going for a while, just keep the interest going, maybe even get some people, new people interested in, just so that we can get better somehow. Yeah,
I'm with you. It's just it's been nothing but bad news since the coof, and I don't know. It seems like only the Bat books have been unaffected by a lot of the politics, if you will.
Yeah, James
Batman
Tynion.
sells, man.
Yep. Well, you got to be it has to be quality too, and it doesn't. It's great that you have Jeff Johns, and then James Tynion IV is on the regular title, and he's just killing it with that one. And it's you know, you have to keep the quality up no matter what. Even with Batman, if you start seeing some of this shenanigans that we saw with a lot of other titles, eventually that interest will wane out as well. So I'm so glad that they're keeping such great creative teams on this on the Batman books.
Yeah, you're
clearly you're a fan.
I was going to say you're repping Batman.
We got Batman and Superman. We got the big two representing.
I'm repping Superman today, and that book's been destroyed. I had to give it up.
I heard that his run ends in what, December?
Yeah, it just. Yeah. Oh, God.
I mean, you had somebody on there, so I'm not sure why he decided to go that way.
The previous run with oh God, his name escapes me now. Patrick. Do you remember what his name was? It was better. It was better either way. It was better. And the only thing that I really liked about Bendis's run is even Reese's art was awesome, but I kept like at the beginning, I'm like, maybe it's me. No, this is good. You know when you do that, you're like, oh no, this is good. This is good. I read this wrong, or I'm just not focused, but once it got to like issue 6, 7, 8, I'm like, oh, this is not good. And
sometimes you're convincing yourself based on, you know, reading some good stories in the past or based on who it is, and you just convince yourself. Yeah,
exactly.
I made it's your fault. That's great.
Yeah, I was blaming and I'm like, well, maybe it'll get better because Brian Michael Bendis has written some good stuff before. It'll get better.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's one of those things, and I've talked about this with Dan at BoomTube, that sometimes a writer and a character don't work, and sometimes they do, right? Like Chip Zdarsky, to me, was always one of these, give him a B level book. You know what I mean? Right. Anything I'd ever read, like he did Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man, meh. He did Jughead, meh. He got Daredevil. Holy shit. Like, him and Daredevil are perfect for each other. I love his run right now on Daredevil. Yeah, it's actually very, very good. And
I think it's the best Marvel book now.
Yes, it is.
By far.
Yes, it is.
And you're right. Even writers have a good reputation of a lot of good titles. Sometimes they'll run into where they can't. There's a certain characters they can't do, and like I love Bendis. I can't get enough of Bendis's ultimate. You know, the Ultimate Spider-Man run.
Yeah, the original one.
The original one with Mark Bagley.
Bagley, yeah.
Bagley. They went like 110, 11, and I keep going back. I can't get enough of those.
Yeah, I love those.
He just hit it right on. He also hit it with he did an Avengers run. It's called New Avengers. It went for like 6 or so issues. It was perfect. I keep going back to that as well. He writes Spider-Man really well, by the way. Peter Parker Spider-Man really well. Yep. But then you match him up with another a certain character, and it just doesn't work.
Kind of like when Mark Waid went to Captain America. Mark Waid did this great run on Daredevil. It was awesome. Even though Mark Waid, kind of a jerk, but his Daredevil run was awesome. It was. And then they gave him Captain America, and it was horrid, just awful. It's weird how some writers, they find that voice with that certain character. And anyway.
Yep.
But then there's books like this.
No.
Who wants to go first?
No.
I don't even know what to say. Wonder Woman of history. I mean, first of all, there's only one Wonder Woman.
Thank you.
So let's not try to, shove a bunch of other people, whether past or present, into that name. There's one Wonder Woman. That's it.
Well, at least Diana's the biggest person on the cover. We'll give them that.
Well,
and she looks like Wonder Woman.
She does. But here's the thing, okay? Everybody featured in this book is from very recent, for the most part, except for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. and they're all from one political party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, where are people like, you know, go back into history? Where's like Joan of Arc? What, you know, where's Amelia Earhart? Where are those people? There's tons of them.
I mean, at least with those women, that they could actually get the name. You know, I would accept the fact that you're calling them Wonder Women because they really
that's what I'm saying.
Went above and beyond.
You know, you have a book here where they have AOC punching this guy in the face. What is this? What is this?
How becoming?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, real world heroes, including Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Rashida Tlaib, and Elizabeth Warren.
Wow.
You know, we were just praising the Three Jokers, and it sold 300,000 copies.
Yep.
What's your prediction on this? What's it going to sell? Do they? It's amazing.
Oh, it'll sell like 10,000 copies, and then they'll blame men for not buying it.
Get ready! It's the three of us we're definitely to blame. We're going to be to blame. Because right now I'm telling you I'm not buying this. Second of all, they just got rid of half their staff 6 or 7 weeks ago. And part of the reason was because they were allowing rancid behavior on social media, making horrible judgment calls on what to publish. And then they turn around and unless this was already in the pipeline before that happened, but this is, what can I say? I mean, and look at the art. Look at the art. It's not even like DC level. It's like,
I mean, whose idea was this? So do we know?
You know, DC's announced a new graphic novel. Wonder Woman's been an inspiration for decades. That's true.
Yeah.
Can't we just have
Wonder Woman was created by a man, by the way.
Yeah.
Just pointing that out, the Wonder Woman was created by a man.
As part of some weird sexual fetish that he had.
That's right. Make girl Superman. Okay.
Anyway. Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
House Anderson.
Laurie House Anderson.
Wow.
Remember, we're talking about as part of their purge, they were talking about going more into YA graphic novels and selling stuff in Walmart.
That's right. Yeah.
So this is probably their first offering. But you know, again, I don't see any historical people here really. These are all very modern people, and many I don't even know. Like Beyonce. Why is Beyonce in there? Beyonce, really? Beyonce? Holy Christ!
I mean, the only thing I can think of is a way, because you said it's all these women that they picked is from one kind of political side, and must be a way to grab the young kids, I guess. You know, especially young girls or something.
That's clearly it's aimed at tweens because it's a YA author here. So you know, like Beyonce, you know, the first trailblazing woman in music that comes to my mind is Madonna, because she broke
Ella
the mold.
Fitzgerald.
I mean, as far as like someone who marketed themselves, like Madonna became a marketing machine. She was a walking commercial, you know.
That's true.